in the next 10 minutes. Let's turn our attention, though, to Leith Hill. People opposed to drilling for oil in a beauty spot near Dorking have told us they are terrified of supporting a protest camp which has been set up to where the drilling would actually take place. The BBC has also been advised not to return to the site following a High Court order awarded to Europa Oil. The very broad injunction bans activity that could help sustain the protest camp at Leith Hill. Up until now, the activists living at the site had been supported by locals bringing water and food. Local councillors say the community is effectively being gagged. Our environment correspondent, Claire Marshall, went out to Cold Harbour near the camp, as close as she can get legally.
I'm in an ancient sunken lane. There's a very cold wind blowing through the trees above me, but the sky is clear. Now, the protest camp is just out of sight. They call part of it the fort. It's a wooden tower. It's about 25 metres tall. Really extraordinary structure. People living there have been kept going by locals, as you say, dropping off supplies. I mean, they've even had a kind of hot food rota going. Now, I've been doing a documentary on it, and I've been there many times, but I can't go back now, so say our lawyers, because of Europa Oil's injunction. I'd be in contempt of court and could end up in prison, potentially. So this, kind of unsurprisingly, has scared off much of the local support, because the definition is about assisting. So one of these is a woman who lives in Dorking, and she's with me now. We can't actually give her name, so we're calling her Sue. Thanks for joining us here. How do you feel about what's happened about the injunction?
I'm concerned that local people are very worried about this injunction. Where we're standing here is ancient woodland, and that means it's been recorded as woodland since 1600 onwards, and probably before. And the people of Dorking and Cold Harbour have been walking their dogs and being here forever. All of a sudden we're prevented. We're prevented from being here. These are decent, law-abiding human beings who can't be here to support a camp that is out in all weathers. So they've been supported with not just food, but with dry socks, hot water bottles, bedding. Over 400 people walked up a hill in support of this camp. And now we are prevented or scared off by a piece of paper that says we can't be here.
I'm also with Claire Malcomson. She's the Liberal Democrat councillor. Is that your understanding of what's happening, and how does that affect your constituents here?
Well, the people around here have mixed feelings, but I think in general they are getting very scared. Up until now, they've been supporting the camp, and they still want to support the camp, but obviously this eviction frightens them. But I do believe that this is because Europa is using this as a flagship. Leith Hill is an area of outstanding natural beauty and is in the green belt, and effectively is known as a mountain because it has its own tower. But they are wanting to frighten people off because it is such a famous area. And it's effectively a gagging order, which is very unfair because we live in a democracy, and we should have freedom of speech, and they're trying to make an example of this beautiful area, which is, as I said, very famous. They're trying to starve out the demonstrators and deter the locals and prevent this freedom of speech. And it's scare tactics. It's totally unfair, and something should actually be done about it, because I think that they're not doing this in all the areas where people are protesting.
Okay, Claire, thank you very much. And Sue, just to say, obviously, as we would, I've tried to call Europa Oil numerous times over the last few months, and last spoke to them yesterday, and their CEO said that they can have no comment on the camp itself.
That's our environment correspondent, Claire Marshall, reporting. Surrey resident Pam Lucas has been at the camp. Pam, morning to you.
Hello.
Hello. How's this injunction affecting your campaign, then?
Well... It's deterring people from being there in many ways. They're not allowed to have a fire on the actual main camp itself, so they can't prepare themselves hot food, which they're perfectly capable of doing. These people are very used to surviving in difficult circumstances. They're used to camping out, but when that's the case, it's not possible. And also, it's preventing people from communicating to one another, and it paints a very bad picture of these environmental protectors who are actually doing a job which the government should be doing. The government should be protecting, acting on our wishes and desires. We pay them and we elect them to do this, and they seem to be ignoring this.
How many people are there at the camp?
I wouldn't like to say, to be honest, right now.
Well, you don't want to tell me, or you don't know?
I don't want to tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you expected to be evicted?
Well, no, because Europa, they haven't put in their traffic plan yet. The only access to the site is down Cold Harbour Lane, which is an ancient sunken roadway, and any activity with a heavy goods vehicle would cause landslides. There's barely room for 2 cars to pass. There's little notches in the side of the road where cars have to pull over in order to let an oncoming car overtake them or go past them. And can you imagine huge lorries going down a single track road, which is what it is, vibrating wildly? I mean, I live in London, and it's just horrific when you get loads of buses. You can feel it through your feet. And those trees aren't going to survive. They're going to start sliding. There's going to be landslides. To be honest, I can't actually see it operating. and how Europa can say they haven't actual licence yet when they haven't submitted their traffic plan is beyond me.
Pam, good talking to you, and thanks to Claire Marshall for her report. Cameron Buchanan is the director of Angus Energy, joins us this morning. Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Should people in Surrey be concerned about even further oil exploration?
I don't think so, actually. I mean, we're nothing to do with Europa, we're Angus Energy. I really don't think so. This should be concerned. We're not fracking. All we're doing is drilling for oil, which is under the surface.
The protectors, as they're called, have got quite a lot of local support. Do you have any sympathy with locals?
Of course I do. But it isn't actually us that is involved with it. This is Europa Oils who are treating it a rather different way from Angus Energy. I do have sympathy, yes.
There's a feeling in some of the communities in the Surrey Hills that this is just the start and the beginning, and you can see why people would want to put, the hackles are up, or is that likely? Are we going to see more?
Well, it might be more drilling, but certainly there's going to be no fracking. I think that's what they're afraid of, isn't it? That's what I gather.
Well, I think they would argue back. It's not just the fracking, and the people we've spoken to have said that they do understand the different sides of the argument with the fracking, and I think they're just concerned on beauty spots just being ruined, really.
It's only ruined, it's not really ruined. It's not really ruining it in any particular way. It's going to be just drilling, and then once the oil is extracted, it will go back to nature again.
All right, and what kind of period, because it's not an area that I know, how long do you actually drill for oil then?
It depends on the depth, but I can't really answer that because I haven't got a detailed plan of where it is. But sometimes it's months, sometimes it's a year or years. But it will go back to nature. We've already, Angus Energy has already put back blocked one drill and put it back to normal. But not in that area, in another area. And so, you didn't get hold of anybody from Europa. So you didn't get hold of me from Angus. So my voice is going.
Fair enough. Good talking to you, Cameron. Thanks for your time this morning. It's BBC Surrey.